Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil mursalin sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir, rabbi tammim bil khair. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa la haula wa la quwwata illa billahil aliyil azim. Alhamdulillah, we've entered into the second half of Ramadan, and may Allah grant us strength to continue persevering, to keep doing good, and may Allah give us this consistency, not only in Ramadan, but following through it till the rest of the year, till the rest of our lives. We are connected to the Quran now. We continue to be connected to the Quran for the rest of our lives. We continue to be doing good to our neighbors and to our community now. Allah give us the istiqamah to continue doing good to our neighbors and to the community and henceforth. Now, if we talk about Ramadan, there are some major events that come to mind. As I'm doing my recording now, we're experiencing Nuzulul Quran, right? And then we are also experiencing on the same date, 17th Ramadan, the Battle of Badr, which we have covered last year, in fact. And another event that we're going to go into for the next 3 to 4 weeks will be about the conquest, the peaceful conquest of Makkah, right? The peaceful conquest of Makkah. And this happened in the 8th year of Hijrah. It happened in Ramadan, and the Prophet ﷺ, he moved out from Makkah on the 10th of Ramadan. But before that, we need to understand that the event itself happened as it came after 2 years of the agreement of Hudaibiyah. Remember, in the 6th year of Hijrah, in Zulqa'dah, there was an agreement that was being signed, which was the agreement of Hudaibiyah. And we all remember that it was an unfair agreement. There was an agreement that it actually upset the companions. And in that agreement, there was supposed to be a period of peace between the mushrikins of Mecca and the Muslims in Medina. So that was the agreement that was agreed upon in Hudaibiyah. Now remember, when the agreement was signed on the 6th year of Hijrah, so 2 years later, the Prophet will enter into Mecca. Now what led to this eventual conquest of Mecca? What happened? It was supposed to be 10 years of peace. Agreement was supposed to be for 10 years. So what happened in between that it was shortened to just 2 years? Now, the first thing that we need to bear in mind was that when the agreement was signed, it was just not between the Muslims of Medina and the mushrikins of Makkah. It was also it was an agreement that was agreed upon by respective alliances. So, for example, there was a rivalry existing between two tribes that went back all the way to pre-Islamic years, which was talking about we are talking about the tribe of Bani Bakr, and Bani Khuza'ah. Right? Bani Bakr and Bani Khuza'ah. And they are rivals with each other. So when the agreement was signed between the Prophet ﷺ and Suhail bin Amru, representing the mushrikins of Mecca, right? These two rival tribes took sides. So Bani Khuza'ah says, I'll be on Muhammad's side. I'll be on the Prophet's side. And Bani Bakr says that since I'm your rival, I'll take the opposite side. I'll be on the mushrikin side. If there's a simple lesson to start off with, every time you take sides, know who you're taking sides with. Right? These people of Makkah, these mushrikins, these believers, as much as they disbelieve in the Prophet, they knew for certain that this was a man that was trustworthy. They knew him as Al-Amin, the one that is trustworthy. Sadiqul Wa'du, who keeps to his promises. Now, if you sign an agreement, you will look at someone whom you will only trust the person who can keep to the agreement. But unfortunately, Bani Bakr, the animosity they have with Khuza'ah got the better of them. So they says, okay, I'll just take side for the sake of just being rivals with my traditional rivals. So that was the reality. So the agreement was signed, right? But you know, when you have so much anger and rancor in you, you can't control it. So Bani Bakr, one day in an incident at Al-Watir, a place called Al-Watir, they ambushed Bani Khuza'ah. Because you have so much hatred for people, and it's been a long-standing rivalry. So despite the agreement, it just doesn't hold, right? The agreement doesn't hold, so they just ambush people of Khuza'ah. Now, ambushing the people of Khuza'ah who are allied to the Muslims is like breaching the agreement between the Muslims with the mushrikins of Mecca. So immediately when that happened, the leaders of Mecca knew for certain that they were going to be in trouble because they have breached the agreement. So they were worried now. Because if you look at the agreement itself, this is one of the beautiful hikmah, one of the wisdoms of the Prophet ﷺ. While the companions and even ourselves, we see that as blatantly an unfair agreement, But the Prophet saw something else, right? The Prophet saw something else. The fact that Suhail bin Amru came, right? The fact that Suhail bin Amru came to sign a truce means that the mushriks of Makkah are starting to see the strength of the Muslims. Remember, in all occasions, in all relationships that happened prior to this, all right, it was the mushrikins that make the initiative to go over to Madinah to Munawwarah, whether to start a war or anything. But in this instance, all right, in this instance, it was the Muslims that have made all their way all the way to Makkatul Mukarramah to perform their Umrah, right, in the signing of Hudaibiyah. So the Prophet saw that this was an acknowledgement, if it was not fear, in amongst the mushrikins of Makkah, they see the increasing strength of the Muslims. The Muslims have just defeated the combined Jewish forces at Khaybar, and they were a formidable force. All right, so they have seen they have just done that. All right, so indeed, when the agreement was being signed, or when the agreement was being signed, the Prophet saw that this was a recognition of the might of the Muslims, which is why he went on with it. So when this, and it was proven true 2 years later, when it was breached by Bani Bakr, that Abu Sufyan, after having a meeting with the leaders of Makkah, he decided to go all the way to Medina, all right, to re-establish the agreement, to say that no, it's not null. It's not null. It was Bani Bakr who broke it, not us. Can we continue? The fact that he went all the way, all right, is a showcase of what? It's a showcase of fear. It's a showcase of worry. It's a showcase of defeat. The leader of the mushrikins in Makkah, the leader of Makkah, traveling all the way to beg, right? To beg for what? For the truth to be continued. But it was breached. So the Prophet avoided him. The Prophet decided not to agree because this guy, he was being sly. Abu Sufyan, then he was being sly. He was trying to just extend something. The Prophet says, no, you broke the truce, and that's it. That's the status quo now, right? That you have broken the truce. Now, the first lesson we're going to learn, in addition to the importance of taking the right side, is the fact that you should actually. This talking about the virtue of patience. Scholars says that patience, all right, comes in three forms. Patience in doing good. When you do good, you have to be patient, because in doing good, there'll be challenges that come your way. Allah says in the Quran, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ حَتَّى نَعْلَمَ مُجَاهِدِينَ مِنْكُمْ, that we will surely test you, all right, until we know from amongst you who are those who really struggle to do good. So many times in our lives, when we want to do good, we find that there's always something that doesn't work for us. We find sometimes obstruction. We find that our plan doesn't run smoothly. That's part of parcel of doing good, right? That's part of puzzle of doing good. The Prophet ﷺ has been planning. He planned for Uhud. It didn't turn out too well. Right? So when you plan for things, it might not go according to plan. Is Allah's way of testing you and then rewarding you for being patient. So be patient in doing good. I've been praying for so long, Ustaz. I don't get my khushu'. Right? It's into half of Ramadan now, and I still don't get khushu' in my tarawih. In fact, in the days I just laze around, I feel lethargic. I put my schedule up. I've done a lot of things, but I can't get going. I don't feel spiritually connected. Well, there is value in just keep the fact that you're worried shows that, well, you believe in the value of struggling. So be patient in our struggle in doing good. Second, that patience come, all right, when we are patient in the face of the desires and also the what the devil calls us to. All right, patience comes when we need patience because it comes with desires, patience in dealing with desires, and also the whispers of the devil. This is the second level of patience. So the second form of patience comes when we want to do good. All right, it's better to go to sleep than to read the Quran. It's better to laze around in Ramadan, taking out your phone, all right, taking out your phone and surfing, looking at your IG, your FB, your Twitter, and aimlessly doing things. Is better to do that than to take the Quran and read 2-3 pages. It's easier for us to actually in Ramadan to just follow our desires. When we eat our food, we just eat. When we break our fast, we just keep on eating. Even though we are full, we add on, because why? The food is just so irresistible. It's easier to do that than to say, okay, I'm full now. All right. In fact, I'm about to get full now, so it's gonna affect my ibadah later. So I take my wudu now. I will clean up. I will clean up. All right, the table now. I will wash the dishes, and then I'll get into ibadah. It's easier to just succumb. But this is part of the struggle when you have to discipline yourself in Ramadan, especially. All right, you feel that there's some part of that the Quran is there's so much left to be read. There's so much left to be looked into. So you decide to put more time to that. It is not comfortable. It is not easy, but you keep doing that. The third level, the third form of patience is patience. All right, in dealing with circumstances in life. And this is life. Allah says, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ. Right? He's going to test us with fear, all right, with hunger, and henceforth. We will surely test you. Bishai'in. Shai means what? Any form of, it can come in many manifestations, in many form. And we are experiencing now. We are having uncertainty, we have fear. Initially is fear of COVID-19. Now it's translated into fear of what? What it brings, in a sense that it was initially a health anxiety. It's translated to other forms now. Anxiety for those who are students now, or you're graduating this year, for whether you're from secondary school or from college, or what do I do now? My syllabus, is it covered? Will I be ready for the examinations come the end of the year? Those who are working, the issue of employment, issue of pay, and henceforth. So all these things, all right, we need to be patient, and we get rewarded for all this. And remember the maxim, the guideline is, Allah says, la yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha, that we do not test you unless we know that you are able to overcome it. So there's a saying that I always tell my classes: if Allah puts you to it, He'll put you through it. That's the basic formula. So first, there is patience. Remember, agreement was signed in 6th year of Hijrah. 6th year of Hijrah. The 6th year of Hijrah, agreement of Hudaibiyah was signed. 2 years. The agreement was for 10 years. The unfair agreement was supposed to be for 10 years. 10 years of unfair agreement. It just went down to 6, 7, 8. Within a span of 2 years, the Muslims, all right, they are ready to go into Makkah and claim back what was rightfully theirs. So that was the situation then. Right? So be patient. Sometimes we don't see things, but Allah does. So have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Patience is tied to the one who tests us. That's Allah Ta'ala. So have faith. When He tests us, means He know what is in store for us, and He will not forsake us. For so as long as we do not forsake Him. فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. You remember me, and I shall remember you. That's what Allah promised in the Quran, and we hold on to that promise. So if Allah tests us, there's something at the end of it. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. So this is the first lesson learned. Now, next, we move on now. All right, so the Prophet ﷺ, he immediately after that incident, all right, and he decided to go into Makkah, and it was supposed to be a secret mission. Even after Abu Sufyan was ignored by the people of Medina when he tried to extend it, the people of Makkah they still didn't realize, all right, they felt that it was going to be a conquest by the Prophet ﷺ. They felt that it was just the treaty was now null, and that's it. So they didn't expect, all right, they didn't expect any form of retaliation or conquest. It wasn't on their minds, all right. So that was that. But the Prophet ﷺ immediately started activating the Muslims. So 10,000 Muslims, all right, they all left Medina on the 10th year of Hijrah. Before that, on the 10th of Ramadan, on the 8th of Ramadan, the Prophet sent a small platoon, 8 platoons, all right, led by a companion by the name of Qatada, and Qatada left. What was both of these? They left for a place called Edam, right? Place called Edam. Why did he go to Edam? All right, so that it becomes a distraction. You know, in the past, last time, any movements, any troop movement outside, all right, any troop movement outside of Medina, it will be caught, in the sense that it will be identified, a significant troop movement, and the Prophet is going to make this. So this is going to be a secret mission. So in fact, the companions were not told of the destination. Companions were not told of the destination. They were just told to get ready, to pack up, and they were going to leave. But Qatada's troops, they were giving a specific location, Edam. Why? So to distract. In case people saw troop movements, they say that the troop movement has already happened on 8th of Ramadan. So this becomes a decoy and distracts people from the 10th of Ramadan. 10th Ramadan, the Prophet moved out with his companions. Now, when they moved out, one of the companions, right? This is a very interesting story. His name is Hatib bin Abi Balta'ah. All right, Hatib bin Abi Balta'ah. He was a companion who fought in the battle of Badr, and he was a muhajirin. He was from Makkah. He fought in the Battle of Badr. So he was a distinguished companion, because all the companions who fought in the Battle of Badr, they were distinguished people. All right, they were distinguished in the sight of Allah and in the sight of the Prophet ﷺ. And so he sent a message. Now he sent a message through a lady, all right, to a woman, all right, as a messenger, and send her out to Makkah to tell them that the Muslims might be probably going to Makkah now, 10,000 of them. No one was told of this mission, but he assumed 10,000 is going to be going to Mecca, and he sent it. So Hatib bin Abi Balt, a companion. Now, is this treachery? Is this treason? Right? What is he doing now? He's telling about he's no one no he's not it's supposed to be a secret mission, and it's a prophet's secret. And why do you breach this? So the Prophet ﷺ, Allah Ta'ala told the Prophet ﷺ about this, and the Prophet sent for two companions, Ali bin Abi Talib and Sayyidina Miqdad bin Amru. And both of them also companions who fought in the Battle of Badr. In fact, Miqdad bin Amru and Ali bin Abi Talib were the people that actually shared the same horse with the Prophet. Remember, shared the same camel. In the Battle of Badr, 313 companions went to the battle, 100 camels, 3 to a camel. So Miqdad bin Amr, Miqdad and also Ali bin Abi Talib were those who were sharing with the Prophet ﷺ. So they intercepted this woman and they found the message hidden in her locks, right, in her locks. And they were very dignified in the way they deal with the woman. All right, they weren't aggressive, they weren't abusive. So the woman succumbed, in the sense that she eventually admitted, and she gave the letter that was meant for the people of Makkah to Sayyidina Ali bin Abi Talib and Sayyidina Miqdad bin Amru. And so they came back to the Prophet ﷺ and they brought the letter, and the Prophet summoned Hatib, all right, Hatib bin Abi Balta'ah, and asked him, why did he do it? All right, why did he do it? And Hatib bin Abi Balta'ah says this. He says that, all of you here have relations in Makkah. In the sense that you have relations. I don't have any relations in Makkah. I only have friends. So by virtue of it means that you have families in Makkah, and therefore if this conquest happens, so he's thinking maybe that the conquest will be something that is going to be bloody, it's going to be like a battle. So he's like, I'm worried for that conquest, because in a sense that I don't have anyone in Makkah except for friends. So you all have family members. So if you go there naturally, your family members will be protected, and in the sense that you will be protective for your family members, and at the same time they will also protect your wealth there. They protect your good there. All right. But I don't have anybody there. So I want to earn the favor of the people of Mecca. So since I don't have anybody there, I have just friends. But friends is just friends. But if things get into calamity, it's family that matters. But since I have no family and I have friends, I hope to win over my friends in Mecca by telling them this news, so that I become favored to them, that they will appreciate me, and they will protect my family there. All right. So he has family there, but his family there has no family ties to anyone in Mecca. So Hatib has family members in Mecca, but his family members have no ties to anyone else there, but just friends. All right. So he says that, so in that, you'll protect my wealth there, you'll protect my family members there. So that was why he did it. Now, Sayyidina Omar was ready. He was like, this is treason, this is treachery of the highest level. It's a major mission here. All right. And the Prophet and Sayyidina Omar was already drawing his sword. He's going to draw his sword, he's going to do something there. But the Prophet ﷺ says no. He says that Hatib, he fought in the battle of Badr. He's a distinguished man in the sight of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. He's a companion. All right. So no, he's forgiven. He's forgiven, and the mission continues, and he's forgiven. All right. Look at the Prophet ﷺ and what he's teaching us. So many times in our lives, lesson number 2, our lesson for today. So many times in our lives, all right, in our conflict with people, these are the same people who have done good to us. So many times we overlook the good people have done to us, all right, when they make a mistake instead. So people have done so many good things to us. Once in a while, they make a mistake, right? They make a mistake, and sometimes it's not even a major mistake. It's just a small disagreement or small misunderstanding, and suddenly we forget about all the good things they have done to us in the past. And we are all guilty of that, myself included. Right? We tend to overlook the good things people do. There's a tip that scholars give us when we talk about remembering and forgetting. right? Because human beings have selective myopia. We are very selective of what we want to remember, what we want to forget. Always remember two things and forget two things. All right. Remember the good things people have done to you. Always remember, always be internally indebted to them. All right. The Prophet showed us the way, because in the Battle of Badr, when going back to Badr, all right, the Prophet ﷺ, he says, all right, he says that there are some people who, when I was being boycotted in Makkah, all right, that when you fight them in a war, do not fight them, do not kill them, take them as prisoners, because they were the ones who were responsible for ending the boycott against the people, against the people of Bani Abdul Muttalib. And amongst them was a man called Abu Bakr ibn Hisham. Right, Abu Bakr ibn Hisham says, do not do anything to them. All right, so the Prophet remembers people. He remembers the good things people do to them. In fact, every time when there's Idul Adha, when slaughters are being made, he always makes sure that there's some meat appropriated for who? For the friends of Sayyidina Khadijah. Right? So again, the Prophet remembers. So remember, first thing, remember the good things people do to us. Secondly, remember the bad things we do to people, so that we always remember that there's some that we have yet to do good to people. All right. So always remember the good things people do to us, and in return, remember the bad things we have done to people, so that we always remember we will humble ourselves, that we are prone to making mistakes, that we are prone to making errors. Then before we punish people for the mistakes they make onto us, we should remember first that, hey, that we have made mistakes too. In fact, grave more major mistakes than what people have done onto us. But we tend to forget that. The second aspect, what do we forget? Forget about the good things we do to people. Allah says in the Quran, "Wala tubtilu sadaqatikum bil manni wal adha." Right? Do not mention, right? Do not try to tell people about the good things that you have done, so that what? So that they become indebted to you, right? Do not nullify all these good deeds by saying that, last time I did this for you, last time I did this favor, or so and so, all right? He wouldn't have gone so far in life if I had given him the head start in the past. Oh, how long was this? 20, 30 years ago? You remember that? You think that 20 years ago when you felt it was so significant, so you want people to know about it. So try to forget the good things you do to people. If people remembers, alhamdulillah. People don't remember, you don't feel affected by it. Sometimes we get affected by it because people choose not to remember. Never mind. But Allah remembers. Allah never forgets. Whatever do you have done for people 20, 30 years ago, and they have forgotten about it, it is written. It is written. The good is already written. So if you return everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, khalas, it's settled. All right, the deed is there, it's written, and you get rewarded for it. But if you mention something, it's as though you're reminding Allah. All right, it's as though you're saying Allah's remembrance is not good enough for me. Whatever Allah's given me is not good enough for me. I want the worldly recognition of this person. Then Allah says, yes, okay, you want that recognition, I'll give it to you, but you get nothing in the akhirat. Which one do we want? Second, all right, always forget the bad things people do unto us. This is again a fault of us, in the sense that people can do so many good things, but one mistake they make to us, we totally forget. We erase, we eradicate all the good things they have done for us. So the Prophet is teaching us this so this is a major a major issue here, in the sense that a companion went against the order of the Prophet. He went against the order of the Prophet, but the Prophet forgave him, because the Prophet saw what he did for Islam. The Prophet saw what he did for Islam, and that should be what, if you follow the Prophet, we follow his attire, but we should follow his akhlaq. And his akhlaq is forgiveness. And we are in Ramadan now, and we recite, Allahumma innaka afoon kareemun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. Allahumma innaka afoon, oh Allah, you're most forgiving, you're most generous in your forgiveness. Tuhibbul afwa, you love to forgive. Fa'fu anni, forgive me, forgive us. And you're expecting an unconditional forgiveness. If you expect Allah to give you an unconditional forgiveness, then you forgive also unconditionally for people. Remove that. I forgive, but I'll never forget. Right? No, forgive. Right? If you bear a grudge, what does bearing that grudge do to you? How much help does it do if you have a grudge against someone? All right? Just forgive. And in return for your forgiveness, Allah will forgive for you as well. All right? And in the future, when you will find that when you make mistakes, people are most tolerant, forgiving of you, because Allah never forgets. So this is the start, the prelude, all right, to the entrance into into Makkahul Mukarramah, the peaceful conquest of Makkah, which Allah says in the Quran, Inna fatahna laka fatham mubina, is called manifest victory. All right, but we're going to look into more detail next week. But these two lessons I talked earlier today about the importance of forgiveness and patience. Well, this is just not a lesson for us for this week, but throughout Ramadan and beyond it, till the day we return to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala with forgiveness and patience and forbearance in our hearts. Wa sallallahu alaihi Muhammadin sahbihi ajma'in. Walhamdulillahi alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Have a blessed Ramadan. Increase our taqwa. Ask Allah for forgiveness and don't forget to forgive others as well. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.